Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the second day of the Sutta study. Actually, the first day was just an introduction and some highlights of the Sutta. But today we are getting into the I would say the real sections of the Sutta. And I did something interesting today. You don't need to write everything, so I wrote down all the important notes here. All right? So do not be confused otherwise, needing to write down every time I say something. Perhaps I might be saying different things too, related to stuff. So these are very important things. Some are just topics too, but you can see them under the Parisota blogspot.com. We left up at the first part of the sutta, so we are moving on to the sensual indulgence part, Kama Sukhallikanu Yoga. Now, the first thing that I normally do, I have a Pali reading class normally on Thursdays. I normally get them to pronounce after I read. People are very happy because they think that the pronunciation is getting checked by somebody who knows it. So it's good because rather than just listening to monks chanting and then you listening to them with lots of respect, it is good that if you could also read in whatever the best way those suttas. All right, so let's recite number 3 and number 4. So I will first recite and then I will ask probably maybe this section and this section, this side and this side to read out. Yo chayang kamesu kama sukhallikanu yogo. Once again, yo chayang kamesu kama sukhallikanu yogo. Hino Gammo Pothut Janiko Anariyo Anatta Sanghito. Hino Gammo Pothut Janiko Anariyo Anatta Sanghito. This side, please. All right. So, where should we be kind of careful in this reading? Especially the places where you see H, this place, this place, this place. What are they called in Pali? What are they called? Aspirate. That means you have to sort of pronounce with a sibilant, kind of an emphasis. Not like Buddhang Saranang, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, that sibilant, right? It's called a sibilant in Pali. Yeah? So here, Kama Sukha, not Sukha, Sukha. If it is normal Sukha, then it should be like this. This is not that Sukha, right? It should be Sukha. Pretty easy to get to know it. Whenever you see H, that means you have to place an emphasis. But do not do it in a way that is really strange. Other people might be, what is this? That might sound a little crazy and strange. See? But you do it in your intonation. Kama Sukhallikanu. You try to control that emphasis toward you. Here, Pothujjaniko, not Pothujjaniko, Pothujjaniko, Anariyo, Anatta Sanghito. Is pronunciation very important to the text and to the practice? Yes. I think you may have heard that when somebody is going to be ordained by monks, they're going to give them 2 types of saranagamana. Buddha Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Tatiyampi version in 2 ways. One is called Makaranta. That means the middle part, the object part is getting ended in sound. The other one is the nasal, normal nasal. Now you do in your 5 precepts, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. That's the ending in Saranagamana, Tisarana. But if you are going to be ordained for some time, then monks get to check whether you can pronounce. It means Buddham Saranam Gacchami. So, I mean, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam. It ends in M. You don't need to say that because you are lay people. Because senior monks want to check whether he can properly pronounce Pali, because he's supposed to teach Dhamma to people. He might sort of mispronounce so that people get lost in their pronunciation. So there are things like that. All right. Yes.
Your numbering in the notes you handed out.
Yes, as I said, to put away this one. This is now not the updated one. This is the please. So the Vihara delivered this. I didn't know about it. They thought this would be better, but there were some corrections to be done. So please download from the website. So yeah, pretty easy. All right. So this side, 3 and 4. All right. So today we are going to look at one of the very extreme practices that the Buddha asked monks to avoid in their spiritual journey to attain Nibbana. Right? One is Kamasukhallikānu Yoga, the other one being Attakilamatānu Yoga. So what is Kamasukhallikānu Yoga? So today we can have plenty of talk about Kama part. Sorry, Kama. This is a very interesting topic in. Sorry, I have to write this way. Maybe I put like this way. There should be a long A, Kama, because this laptop doesn't have the diacritical marks. Kama. Okay, so how do we translate this this word? Kama Sukhallikānu Yoga. What is Kama? Sensual? Kama? Kama means, simply, Kama means desire, right? And we could also take as sensuality, because the desires will get ended up with sensual things, right? Definitely. Basically, Kama means a desire. Be careful, Kama is sometimes ethically neutral. What does it mean? It is like Sila. The Buddha says there are good Silas and bad Silas. In that context, is Sila ethically positive or ethically neutral? Sila has been a neutral form. The word Sila has taken the neutral form at that point. But when the Buddha says Sila va hoti, it is ethically positive. The word is attached with a lot of virtues, precepts and all that. So be careful. Some Pali words, they carry ethically neutral meaning. But some others, most words carry ethically positive. That means ethical format has been particularly attached to that word. Like karma. Karma, the word karma is an ethically neutral word. But when you say good karma, bad karma, then the ethicality has been added to that Pali word. In the same way, karma basically is ethically neutral. Why do I say so? How many of you have read Parabhava Sutta? Parabhava Sutta, the chanting book. Really? That's a shame, huh? Mangala Sutta is the blessings. Parabhava Sutta is the place where you understand downfalls. How are you going to, fall out of your blessings? If you only read the Mangala Sutta, then you are not looking at the downfall side. In the Parabhava Sutta, it says, Dhamma kamo bhavang hoti, Dhamma desi parabhavo. Those who do not like Dhamma, but who are going to be against with the Dhamma, this is going to be a parabhava, downfall. Then Dhamma karma. Then if every karma is bad, how come there is a good karma? Dhamma karma. That means your desire to learn Dhamma, practice Dhamma, it is also a karma. Right? So you can't say that all karmas are bad. Because we see Dhamma karma. It is like this, huh? Dhamma karma. Dhamma karma. Dhamma kamo bhavang. Because some people hate Dhamma. Dhamma they see. That's the issue. They say killing is okay, stealing is okay, misbehaving is okay, lying is okay. That's why. Like some yakkas, huh? You know, the last sutta in the chanting book, what is it called? The last sutta? This chanting book, the monks chant overnight. What is it called? Huh? Ratana Sutta. That's somewhere in the middle, probably at the beginning. Wow, we are going to study some deep suttas. Huh? Yes, Atanati. What is this sutta about? Some yakkas meet in the Buddha, the ferocious yakkas, who are under the King Vessavana. He is the head god of the yakkas. One of the four world guardians, Virupakka, Viruda, Dataratta, Virupakka. So, some yakkas, the first part says, some yakkas, they told the Buddha, you talk about not killing is good, not stealing is good, not misbehaving in sensual pleasures is good, not lying is good, not taking any beverages or food to the level that you're getting into a point where you can't make a sound judgment is good. But we don't follow that. But some yakkas said, yes, we respectfully follow you. That means all the yakkas didn't agree to the Buddha. Right? So, the reason here is that you understand karma at a point of, what do we say by those yakkas, they didn't like Dhamma. That's the thing. So anyway, so we are talking a little bit more about this, but I was trying to tell you that there are a lot of things to learn from the background that you already know before we jump into the sutta. Right. So karma. Karma means, I would say, here in this context, this is not ethically neutral. This is ethically positive. Because something we call by an extreme. So that means Buddha has clearly understood this karma has caused a lot of problems to many. So I don't want to take that part. So this karma means definitely sensual. What does it mean by sensual? Regarding or related to the senses. What are the senses? Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. This is the Western way, Eastern way, Asian way, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body. That is what how the Buddha used that one. So, if you come up with any I would say a clinging to it, the properties of these six, that means you are creating karma. But the problem here is not that normal karma. Karma sukha. Sukha means happiness. So whatever the happiness you are coming out of these six. Now the problematic word comes up. This is the place. Allika. What does allika mean? Let me type that here. Allika. A new word to all of you. Allika means clinging, another word for clinging. Anuyoga, another word. Anuyoga. Anuyoga means application, practice, application, whatever the words that are related to the practice. So the practice of clinging to the sensual happiness. Practice of clinging to the sensual happiness. It does not mean the practice of enjoying the karmas. Is it bad? It is not bad. That is what you are doing. Because you know where you need to end up with your karmas. But this is the practice of clinging, allika, clinging to the sensual happiness. Clinging is a dangerous thing because it happens after. How does clinging happen? Clinging means upadana. Where do we go through upadana? In the process of the patissamuppada. After avijja paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya namarupam, namarupa paccaya salayatanam, salayatana paccaya passo, passa paccaya vedana, vedana paccaya tanha, tanha paccaya upadana. Little bit risky place, because once you crave, then the possibility of you getting ended up with upadana is high. Definitely you are going to end up with upadana. Actually the problem is not just the tanha, it is the upadana. Right? So that upadana, so you are going to cling to the sensual happiness. Now let's see the note. I added second day, so you know which day. This will keep continuing, right? So you will understand what it is. All right, see here, kama, sensual pleasure, sukha, happiness, allika, clinging to, anuyoga, practice. Easy, huh? Easy to understand. Have you ever broken this down to this way? Huh? Because allika is a problem. Allika and anuyoga, they are very unknown words to many, right? Allika means clinging to. And then, okay, so the Buddha says, the pursuit of, I would translate this to be, the clinging to the sensual pleasures. Translations go by the pursuit of sensual happiness in sensual pleasures, which is not very, I would say, inclusive. Because I use a normal translation from a monk over here. So, but I'm trying to say that because I use the normal translation because this is what you know, rather than creating a very brand new, very deep translation. So you know the normal translation, and then you know how things could have been better. So, kama sukallika yoga means, tell me in plain English, the practice of clinging to sensual pleasures or sensual happiness, because sukha. Why did the Buddha say so? He says in other descriptive words, it is hino. Hina means low. Have we ever found out this Pali word somewhere else? Hina. This word. Hina. Where have you found this out? In other suttas? Do you remember a sutta called Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta? What is it called? What is it about? The Buddha has described karma in a shorter discourse, shorter sutta, and a longer sutta. Actually, it goes by Chula and Mahakamma. So I would say shorter and larger, I would say, that way. What does Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta say? There is a young man comes over to the Buddha. He says, Bhante, I see some people die very fast. Some people die after many years. Maybe they enjoy their longevity. Some people, every day they are sick. They have some complaints. But some people, they don't complain that much. Some people are very beautiful, some people are not. Some people are very much respected wherever they go, although others have all the qualification, everything, they are not that respected. Some people are very wise, some people are always not wise. Why is it? Then the Buddha says, because you used the term called some. He didn't say everybody, some. Ekaccho. Ekaccho. This word, huh? This is an additional point. Ekaccha. Ekaccha means some. He said, the reason is because of the kamma. Kammang satte vibhajati yadidang hina panita tayan. Hina panita. Hina means low, panita means high. So in that perspective, hina means low, but in terms of karma. But here hina means it is not noble compared to the practice that Buddha is going to deliver later on in this sutta, the Noble Eightfold Path. Low, hino. Gammo. Gammo. What does gamma mean? Have you ever heard this word in Pali? Gama. Village. Village. Related to the village people now. I mean, huh? Not refined. Little coarse. Right? But it is a little bit pejorative because then it comes up with an idea that village people are little countryside people, they don't know anything very much. But this is how the Buddha used, because he was talking to people at that time. Gammo, little related to the village folks, not to, I wouldn't say civilized, but not to people who know a little bit more, you know. The translation is vulgar. Well, it's little, probably a little primitive. Little primitive. Gammo. Potujjaniko. This is an interesting word. Potujjaniko. Who are Potujjanika? The word goes by Putajjana. This is the normal, I would say, general word for this Potujjanika. What is Putajjana? Putajjana means everybody who has not attained Nibbana. They are Putajjanas. Right? In the text it says there are two types of Putajjanas. We know only one Putajjana, right? We thought that it's only one Putajjana, like we all are Putajjanas. But there are two types of Putajjanas. The first one is Andha Putajjana. Let me write that. Andha Putajjana. The second Putajjana is Kalyana. Kalyana. Two types of Putajjanas. One is Andha, one is Kalyana. Putu. The noun is probably the main noun is called Putu. Putu means separate. 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 So people who always change their ideas and they don't have one idea, like Aryans. Aryans are very much into their noble path, and Putajjanas are always changing their ideas, their paths. They are moving. They are not unmoved like the Arahants who have the stillness, right? Putu, separate. So these Putajjanas, unenlightened beings, are twofold: Andha and Kalyana. Andha means those people, majority of the world, who do not even know the truths, the Four Noble Truths, basically. And even to come up with an idea that I want to liberate myself, I want to become a better person in this particular context. Andha. Kalyana Putajjana means someone who knows, who reads about the Four Noble Truths, but has not yet properly practiced. They know what it is, but they have not yet properly practiced, put into practice. Right? Kalyana Putajjana. Then you will see the rest of the people. Who are the rest? Them folks? Chula Sotapannas, Saddhanusari, Dhammanusari, Sotapanna, Sakadagamin, Anagamin, Arahanta, Pacceka Buddha, Samma Sambuddha. I think I saw that these words have been carved on the pillars in the first floor. Saddhanusari is the first Chula Sotapanna. It's not a Sotapanna. Then there's Dhammanusari. Saddhanusari means someone who has developed the 5 faculties. Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya. Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. But no wisdom, just a little bit of love towards the Buddha. I mean, Pema Matta. Pema means love toward the Buddha. I respect the Buddha, so have come up with a Saddha. Bit of more Saddha. Yeah, Saddha. Yeah. Saddha, but he or she has a bit of love toward the Buddha. Not the romantic affection to the Buddha, but, devotional love actually. Then the Dhammanusari is he has gone a bit further. He also, or she also has also developed the 5 faculties, Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, but he has some form of wisdom to understand what the 4 Noble Truths are, but not wise enough. We call them Chula Sotapannas, that means small Sotapannas. The actual Sotapanna, when you get rid of the 3 fetters, Sakkaya, Ditthi, Vicikicca, Silabbata, Paramattha, then you become the actual Sotapanna. Because the reason was, there was a man who was a drunk man who took a lot of alcohol. He passed away, but the Buddha declared he was a Sotapanna. Sarakani. This is mentioned in the Sotapatti Sangyutta Nikaya. People blame the Buddha. You say that he was drunk even the day that he died. He had lots of alcohol, yet he was no sober. You say he attained Sotapanna. He said, yes. He did. Now do not wrongly take that we can drink and then attain Sotapanna. This is a very special case. Our unwise people catch right away, like Angulimala instead. Okay, why? Angulimala also killed people. Why not? Right? Yes, they go for the easy thing. But they have done lots of good karmas in past lives. Don't take somebody's karma from this life only. Okay? The Buddha says, Sarakani had unwavering saddha about me, about the Dhamma and about the Sangha. He may go to the bar, go to the liquor shop, but his saddha was unwavering. His saddha for Dhamma is unwavering. Nobody could change him or her. Sarakani. His unwavering faith about the Sangha is very fixed. If anybody talks bad about the monks, he said, maybe some people, but I respect the Sangha. Very unwavering. Some people, saddha, they go here and there, right, all the time. If you see a bad incident, right? If the whole world is getting bad cultures, then why not the Sangha? To some extent. It could happen because every society is affected. But there are good Sanghas too, right? Why not? Everywhere. In every society, in every field. So Sarakani, even though he had alcohol, but he was a Sotapanna at the time of the death. So this is how we see Putajjana has twofold: Andha Putajjana, Kalyana Putajjana, then Saddhanusari, Dhammanusari, and you know the rest of the 4. So then the Buddha says the practice of Kamasukhallikānu Yoga is relevant to the Putajjanas. It's not relevant to the Aryans, right? The Putajjanas work. It's not really worthy thing for the noble people, like people who want to become noble. Potujjaniko, the way of worldlings. Anariyo on the other side. Anariyo means not noble. Can somebody tell me that where does this word come from? Ariya, Anariya. Arya. So we know that there was Arya Varta, which happened from the northwestern India into Ganges. But it did not go to the Magadha state. So the Magadhians did not believe that. So they followed only Jainism and Buddhism. Only the northwestern part of the India was affected by this. But anyways, later on, both Jainism and Buddhism used the word Arya to talk about the noble thing. Maybe you may have heard women were called as Ayye. How does it happen? How does it come from? Ayye. Arya. The Pali way is Ayya means Arya, noble woman. Right? And then Chatu Arya Satcha are noble truths. That nobility comes from Arya. Because at that time, there was a belief Arya means noble. But this has a ethno-racial story, but we don't want to touch that, which happened in Vedic India. People from Persia came to India, and then the people who were in India, they were not Aryans. They say they are Mlecchas, but this is an academic topic, so we don't want to touch that. Arya means noble. But here, this is Anarya. Anattha Sanghito. Anattha Sanghito. Atta Sanghito means it is very beneficial. Atta means beneficial. Anatta Sanghito means it is not beneficial, unbeneficial. I put together two translations, not connected with the goal and unbeneficial. But anyway, it means it is not goal oriented. That means our goal is to attain Nibbana. All right, did you learn something out of it? Not that much, because we don't understand what is karma. You know that karma sukallikana is not good. It was not defined as to be good. But we cannot understand the bigger picture of this. The reason is that we don't know what karma really is. That's why we going into the notes now. Okay. Once again, karma sukallikana yoga means the practice of clinging to sensual happiness, right? Do we have another word for desire in Buddhism? This word. What is it? Chanda. Let's write it here. Oh, sorry. Chanda. Chanda. Was it used in the ethically positive way or ethically neutral way? This is ethically positive. This is a good version of desire. In Dhamma, when the Buddha wants to say that you need to desire to attain Nibbana, you need to desire to practice bhavana, the Buddha used chanda, not kama. See, I have quoted a section from the Satcha Vibhanga Sutta. What is it called? Satcha Vibhanga Sutta. This is one of the suttas given by Arahant Sariputta. Because not many people understood this sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. So Arahant Sariputta had to give a discourse explaining, analyzing the abstract, the summary of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. It's a very beautiful sutta. It clearly demonstrates what the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta mentions. Now you might wonder, when are we going to study that too? Huh? One day. One day. So in this sutta, Arahant Sariputta explains what is Samma Vayama. What is right effort. Idhavuso bhikkhu anuppannanam papakanam akusalanam dhammanam anuppadaya. If when a bhikkhu generates enthusiasm, chandang janeti, then the bhikkhu has to, whoever in the path has to create enthusiasm or desire to it, toward the particular Vayama aspect, because Vayama has four aspects, two regarding the akusala, two regarding the kusala. We are not going to that because we have a different topic for that in the coming weeks. So chanda is the Dhammic word for the proper desire in terms of Dhamma, to continue your path. Alright, so do not get mixed up with Kama, okay? Kama, Chanda, they are two words. Chanda has a very specific term. I think this screen has gone. Yeah. So, alright, now I'm slowly, gradually getting into different aspects of Kama. Kama as a ditti is more dangerous and results in an abundance of akusala vipakas. I discussed this from Abhidhamma. All right. Don't be worried about Abhidhamma, because I'm not talking a lot of things from Abhidhamma, because there's something that you should learn from there. In the Abhidhamma, it says, when people make akusala, if they rationalize akusala, it carries a lot of bad karma. How do you understand that? Let's say someone drinks alcohol, right? Drinking alcohol may be a social habit. For somebody, it might be a very difficult habit, extreme habit, right? Drinking a couple of bottles, going beyond that. But there may be someone who just consumes a little bit of maybe the proper moderate level of that alcohol, and then that's it. But for somebody who might think, no, I gotta drink the whole bottle and this particular brand, and I have to keep drinking for a couple of weeks, it's okay, no problem, I don't care. And this rationalization creates lots of bad karma. In the case of eating a piece of cake, somebody might eat it as a part of the dessert. I have my meal, so it's spicy, so I want to have a piece of cake. But somebody might say, oh, so delicious. I have to compare my other cakes that I had last week. This is a new bakery or new coffee shop, new cake shop. So I had to find so much taste in that, so much into the experience of that craving, right? I mean, for people who are doing this as a job, do not mind about this. But rationalizing the karma can create lots of bad akusalas actually. Do not rationalize whatever the karmas are. Just enjoy it. That's it. Because you can't live without karmas too, right? You can't do that. Karmas are there for us to live, especially for lay people, not for monks. So never ever rationalize. So in Abhidhamma, in the first part of the Abhidhamma, especially from Abhidhammata Sangha, it says there are 89 or 121 thoughts, chittas. The chittas that are relevant to normal people, chittas that are relevant to chittas are which have non-roots. Very interesting. Let's say somebody is having a bad mood. Why is it? There's no reason in this life. Oh, past karma. Past karma. Why you are upset? Nothing, But he's unhappy. She's unhappy. Abhidhamma says it is because one of the past karmas are now working into that person's mood. But there's no reason you can find out today. Nobody, did anything to that person. Nothing happened. Everything is going well. Family is okay, work is okay. But he simply goes into a different mood. Ahetuka chittas. And chittas, when you do good things, chittas that are relevant to the arahants, so and so forth. And chittas that are relevant to rupavachara brahmas, chittas that are relevant to arupavachara brahmas. So the concern here is the chittas that you have when you do akusalas. So there are 12 akusala thoughts. The funny and interesting thing is that 10 out of those 12 arise because of lobha. Not those are not moha. 8. 8. It's a substantial number, 8 out of 12. 2 from dosa and 2 from moha. Now, among the 8 lobha thoughts, chittas, it is said there are 4 that you do by happiness. There are 4 you do by moderation, I would say. You do with a neutral mind. It says these words, ditthigata sampayutta, ditthigata vippayutta. That means when you have the lobha, when you can attach rationalization to that lobha. But when you have ditthigata vippayutta, you have lobha, but you do not rationalize it. You are simply greedy for that particular thing. I remember there was a gentleman in Canada, a Sri Lankan man. He was working for a company for 30 years. Suddenly, the company decided, it's a Deutsche company, they decided to demolish the whole building. He was the beverage manager. It's a 4-story building, old building. Now they can't make a lot of profits out of this building. So they demolish it. So ever since they're going to demolish stage one by one, he goes with his son, looking at the building, looking at different areas. Son, this is the place I've been working for 10 years, 5 years in here. So much stressed about this demolition. And after 8 months, he fell down in the bathroom. He got into a stroke. And now he's with dementia. Then the wife and all the others are saying that this is because he was very much worried about that particular place, demolition of the place. Right? So that means when you rationalize your lobha, you may have lobha as a defilement, but when you rationalize it as an object, that can create akusala and that can also ruin your health, physical and mental health. So Abhidhamma says, just keep a note, that some people do akusalas. They do it normally. They have no other thoughts. But some people do akusalas with lots of justifications, rationalizations. I have to do this, I have to destroy these people. So much premeditated, so much rationalized, so much justifying. That carries lots of bad karma. Because Buddhism says everything is mental, right? So when you rationalize, your karma, it can create lots of problems. That's the point here. And then we go down, the scope of karma. What is the scope of the karma? Karma loka, Kamavachara realm, Rupavachara realm, Arupavachara realm. Is karma only relevant to the Kamavachara world? What is Kamavachara world, Dhamma folks? How many realms do we have in Buddhism? That where people die and then we all going to be reborn in one of these places. How many realms are there? 31. How do we describe them? The bottom, they are the apayas. Right? So we say, Naraka, Tirachana, Peta, Asura. Asuras are higher than other beings. Because Asuras were previously living with the Tavatinsa Devas. Something happened to them. They drank something called kind of an alcohol. Sakka was very unhappy. He pushed them from the place to the foot of the Mount Sumeru. This is the story. This is a story actually. We don't know whether this is true or not, but we just know because we just read, right? Yes. So, but Asuras are very jealous people, but more capable than humans. But they are lower than humans at that point. Naraka, Tirachana, Peta, Asura. Then Manussa. We can say Manussa world because there could be different Manussa worlds which we do not know. But we take all that as one. Then 6 heavens. Chatum Maharajika. Then Yama, Tavatinsa, Tusita, Nimmanarati, Paranimita Vasavati. Who is the god of the last 2, the higher 2? Mara. Sakka is also very afraid of Mara. All are afraid. Everybody is afraid of Mara. He is the one who is owning everything in this Kamavachara world. Mara, Vasavati Mara. He has 2 heavens. And then after that, going upward, Brahma worlds, material Brahma worlds. It goes to 16, and then the highest worlds are called Arupavachara worlds. This is how we take the 31 planes. Now the thing here is that karma is relevant to all these worlds in different capacities. Where is the most influence from the karma? To us. Because we are eating solid food. Devas do not eat solid food. They are eating very soft food. So people who eat solid food are highly affected by the Mara. It is true. When you eat some food, your lobha can arise, your dosa can arise, your moha can definitely arise after that. Right? Devas are not that much affected, but they are still affected. So how do we take this? When you get rid of the 3 fetters in becoming a Sotapanna, then do you still have Kamaraga? You become a Sotapanna. Let's say you become a Sotapanna today, what a happy thought, if that is going to happen. So many people trying to teach you how to become a Sotapanna if you attain in a split second. What a nice thing. Let's say you attain Sotapanna. What is your journey after that? Maximum lifetime would be 7 lifetimes. There is no more 8. But then let's say you have to definitely attain Nibbana. Let's say you are going to go on a linear process. This is not normally happening to many because everybody is different. Everyone has a certain distinct capacity to attain Nibbana. But people don't think that way. People think, okay, I have to go one by one, right? On a linear process. It is not linear. If Sarakani becomes a Sotapanna after drinking alcohol, this is a weird incident. And what about the Santati story? Do you know the Santati? A minister, one of the ministers of the King Kosala, I think. His Santati was sent to one of the other provinces to settle a dispute, and he successfully did that. On his way back, the king asked him, now I want to give you something. He said he loves a woman in the harem. He wants to spend some time with her. Okay, go for it. And then he used the royal elephant. Now he is drunk, is going on the elephant. Buddha and his other monks, they were also walking. And then the Buddha asked Bhante Ananda, do you see this person on the elephant? Yes. This Santati. You know what is going to happen tonight? I don't know, because he's an unenlightened Puthajjana monk. He said, Santati is going to be an Arahant. Really? He's drunk and going to see a woman. See, look at it. So they went. At night, what happened? He was spending time with her. He suddenly became ill. She passed away in front of his eyes. So the person who has been loving that woman for long, long time and going to pass away, that person looking at you, and he, although he was drunk and he was sober at that time, he was trying to be very penetrative about his knowledge and insight. No, this thing happens. So this was ended with impermanence. So he was thinking about it in his deep personal life. He attained Nibbana. This is kind of a strange incident. This is not a normal incident, but it happened. So I'm telling you, everyone's journey to Nibbana is very different. Most people's journey to Nibbana is like you. Study, meditate, and then do not know where you get ended up. If you are lucky enough, you will. But there are people who you can't think about. They even do not know what is Sotapanna. They even do not know what is Anagami. But they level up their mind about the changes. This is a very good skill. Very important skill. How do we understand the changes in our life? Santati could understand the change, especially the changes that happen to your loved ones. Your parents, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, relatives. You will feel that your whole world is going to change after that. Because then that is a good moment to reflect upon anicca, impermanence. Just by reading a book, you might just know it as a book knowledge. But use it in your personal events. You will learn a lot. Your penetration will be going high up, and then you will be able to get into a certain level. So the scope of karma is very prevalent, is very spreading. And even though you are a Sotapanna, you still have Kamaraga. When you go into Sakadagami, say you become a Sakadagami, what will happen to you? Your Kamaraga will become attenuated, will become moderate, but still you have Kamaraga. When you attain Anagami, then only you eradicates Kamaraga. But do you think is your Raga finished already? Huh? No? Why is it? Why you think your raga has not been finished at the level of anagami? Because anagami, when you become anagami, the process, you eradicate your kama raga, your sensual desire. But why do you think that you may be not? You may have more raga in different ways? Yes. Even when you are anagami, you still have raga. What ragas are that? To be born in a Brahma world, one of the Brahma world, it is also raga. Rupa raga, arupa raga. That means raga, sensual pleasure, is relevant to all the worlds. Kama avachara, rupa avachara, arupa avachara. When somebody comes to see the Buddha, this is how the Buddha gives his Dhamma talk. First he talks about the dana, then he talks about sila, then he talks about sugati, then he talks about danger of sensual pleasures, kamana, adinama. Then he talks about nekkhamma. We have to talk about that later on this discussion. Nekkhamma. What is the life if we are trying to walk away from some karmas? Am I going to be differently happy? Nekkhamma. Then only at that point he brings up the Four Noble Truths. We should not talk about Four Noble Truths in the first approach. That is a problem in today's world. Some people, they underscore, I would say, they kind of not talk about dana, sila, sagga, because this is how every person is trying to enter the Dhamma journey. Now, most of you, I think, you first connected to the temple with the dana. You can't go to different other higher teachings. Just as many of the people. Dana, then take some sila, then get to know about the next life and these 31 realms. Then only you get to understand, oh, even those karmas are going to finish.
Where does Saddha come in?
Yeah, a good question. Saddha, I think nobody is coming to Buddha without Saddha. So I think it is inclusive here. Saddha is inclusive because normally when somebody comes to see the Buddha, to become a follower, he should have the basic trust about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, become a upasaka. And then the talk about the upasaka will be dana, sila, sagga, kamanang adinava, nekkhamma, chattari, arisacchani. So Saddha is a very inclusive, very basic thing, but you have to consistently keep it. All right. Then Kama as a force of Mara. Mara's first army is Kama. Second is discontent. So when you are displeased, frustrated, it is one of the armies of Mara has come into your mind. This is how you have to understand. Then Kuppipasa, why you become hungry and thirsty all the time? Another set of armies of Mara has come into you. Then craving is Mara's force. Tinamid, the sloth and torpor, laziness, sluggishness. Today I'm a little tired, I don't want to go to the Sutta Study. Yeah? Good things. Fear, doubt, conceit and ingratitude. Gain, renown, honor, falsely received. This is interesting. Self-exaltation and disparaging others. What I say is true, what others say is not true. I think this is happening, right? That is also not a human condition. Human characteristic. It is the characteristic of Mara. Mara has sent one of the armies to that person's mindset. So Kama is one of the major forces of the Mara. Who is Mara? Let's talk about Mara a little bit. How many Maras are there in Buddhism? Is Mara a person or a concept? In some places, he was a person. In some places, it was a concept. So we never know what should be really taken. Now, as I told you, Vasavatti Mara is a person. He is the one who fought with the Buddha. And he is Vasavatti Mara. And who are these Maras? Let me write this for you. Kanda Mara. Kandamara. Who is Kandamara? It is said in the Dhamma, everybody who physically maintains a body of 5 aggregates is a Mara. So we all are Maras. Yes, that is how it is called. Because we carry the body with 5 aggregates, that is how we going into a lot of problems, all the problems. Kanda mara. Then, second mara. Kilesa mara. Who's that? When you maintain a physical and mental body with 5 aggregates, then you definitely have to deal with kilesas. That means, again, we are becoming a mara. Kilesa mara. Third type of mara. Abhisankara mara. So when you are to deal with defilements, kilesas, asavas, then you are going to create automatically karmas, good and bad karmas. Just because you are creating good and bad karmas out of kilesas and khandas, you are again becoming a mara for the third time. 3 maras are within you. Khanda mara, kilesa mara, abhisankara mara. Then who are the others? Machu mara. The final one is Devaputta mara. These are not in the note. If you want to write down, please write down. Machu mara means death. The conventional death that is happening to us. Do we carry the death, Dhamma folks? Do we all carry the death? Yes, we carry the death. Finally, we will be broken with the death. Again for the 4th time. How about the last one? He is an individual. That individual in the heavens, 2 heavens. Nimmanarati, Parinimita Vasavati. Alright? So, now karma as a force of mara related to the Devaputta mara. Alright? Okay. I will go a little bit faster. Now there is a sutta called Nibbedika Pariyaya Sutta. This is, I would say, Anguttara Nikaya's 6.3. This one, Nibbedika actually. Nibbedika Sutta means there are some Dhamma teachings that you have to know as a penetrative knowledge, as a penetrative teaching. That means as an insightful teaching. What are they? Let's see what are they. Vedana. You have to know Vedana, teaching of Vedana as a penetrative teaching. You have to be very insightful about Vedana if you want to know real Dhamma. Then Sanya. Then Asava. So Vedana, Sanya, Asava. Then Kamma. Then Kamma. And then Dukkha. And Kama. That means Kama is a penetrative teaching that we all have to know. What is being penetrative? Let's go to the notes again. Penetrative means that you need to know Kamas, these things. The cause, how Kama comes into play. What is the cause of Kama? You also need to know what is the diversity in Kama. What are the different forms where you are going to experience Kama? You need to know the result of Kama. You need to know the cessation of Kama. And you need to know this important para. Now, when a disciple of the Noble Ones, Arya, discerns Kama in this way, how? The cause by which Kama comes into play in this way. The diversity of Kama in this way. The result of Kama in this way. The cessation of Kama in this way. The path of practice leading to cessation of Kama in this way. Then he discerns this penetrative holy life as the cessation of Kama. This is where we have to go. That means just knowing what is Kama does not make sense. So we have to just have a brief look at of these things. And before that, I want to emphasize this teaching. This is a very interesting teaching, Dhamma folks. The Buddha says, now a lot of people think Kama is the object that you like, right? Maybe a person, maybe his or her voice, maybe smell, maybe a taste of a food, maybe a touch, maybe a comfortable place, maybe your thought. Buddha says Kama is actually not those things. Kama is a conceptual desire about them. This is what he says. Nate kama yani chitrani luke. Buddha says, there are no karmas in this world. There are no karmas. Sankappa rago purisassa kamo. See? The passion for his resolves is a man's sensuality, karma, not the beautiful sensual pleasures found in the world. It is not a beautiful person, not a beautiful place, tasty food, very a good smell, but it is the conceptual desire about that. You conceptualize, this kind of a person is a good one, this kind of food is what I want. So you are always conceptualize. That conceptualization is your karma. Not the people, not the things. But we think, no, they are things, they are people, they are food, but they are not. It is your conceptualized thing. Now, say for instance, if you go into a restaurant, it is more than what you really need. You are conceptualizing what you want to eat. This would have been better if I could eat, right? This way. So, tittanti chitrani tatheva loke atetta dhira vinayanti chan. The beauties remain as they are in the world, while the wise in regard subdue their desire. They subdue their conceptualization. They do not do that much conceptualization. Because once you conceptualize, you are trapped. Right? So, the lesser the better. The lesser you conceptualize, the better. That is what the Buddha says. Alright? So, karma is not objects. Karma is your conceptualization. Your conceptualized desire. The more you conceptualize, the more karmas are coming out. Alright? What is the cause of karma? How do you come into karma? Passa. Passa means contact. There's a contact, mental contact. Yeah, your piece of ice, then the object, they impinge together. Then because of that contact, you feel this is good, this is bad, this is nice, right? That contact. So if you can take care of your contact, you will go really interestingly, really calmly. Diversity of karma. Karma with regard to rupa is one thing. Karma with regard to saddha is another. Saddha means sounds. Karma with regard to gandha is another. Karma with regard to rasa is another. Karma with regard to pottabha is another. This is called the diversity in karma. So we have to know karmas arise from different sensual aspects. So then you know I have to really take care of my senses. Because when my senses go into contact with unnecessary things, then the karmas are going to arise. So I supervise my senses very well at that point. Result of karma. One who wants karma produces a corresponding state of bhava. You create bhava. Bhava, bhava, bhava. How is it given in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta? Yayang tanha pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra abhinandini. Siyati idang kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. You create three types of tanha. Bhava tanha. You are creating karmas for, you are consciously creating, you really wanting to be born in next lives. Buddha says that is a tanha. You should never expect next life, but you know that there will be a next life. But you should not do anything for next life. Just do good things for the good sake of good things. That's it. So, next life is complementary if you are going to be reborn. But some people, they are doing complementary things by force. Is it necessary? There is a rain coming up now. Somebody is going to water the flowers outside. Is it necessary? It is not necessary. Futile effort. Wasting water as well, right? So, next life is complementary, the state of next life, because you are doing good karmas. What you are supposed to do is try to lower your lobha dosa moha through any of the good karma. On the side of merit or demerit. This is the result of karma. Every time you see that I am conceptualizing, look at the diversity of karma, your karma, and look at what I am creating for next life. So you are going to be very restrained about yourself. Now the cessation of karma, this is what we really want. We want to cease it. We want to stop unnecessary karmas. We really want. How is it going to happen? Nothing. It is by nothing else, only by the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path is the only solution in Buddhism to all the problems. You can't cut it, bypass it, and then pick only Sammasati. It is a path that is combined, integrated practice. Everything is circle around, everything is connected each other. So, from the cessation of contact, the cessation of karma, and this Noble Eightfold Path, Sammaditi, Sammasankappa, and so on and so forth. That means if you practice the Noble Eightfold Path, karma will be automatically gone. Sanya also automatically gone. Vedana also automatically gone. All the rest of the penetrative teachings will be automatically gone. Only by one path. Result of knowing karma as described above. I think I already discussed, so you are going to cease it. Karma. This is another teaching. There are two types of karmas. What are they? Kilesa karma and Vattu karma. How do we describe them? Mental attachment or mental karmas and physical karmas. Let's say that you have a karma towards somebody, right? But initially it is a defilement. Perhaps you don't know that person. It is a kilesa karma. Now you get to know that person. You are going to own that person. Maybe you are going to marry that person. Maybe you are going to buy that particular thing. Then you are having additional karma. We call it Vattu karma, objective karma. See? Subjective karma is mental level, and then you going into objective level. Both are disastrous, right? So if you can at least stop at kilesa karma, it is better. But unfortunately, you're going to deal with the physical things. Then things get really difficult for you. Because when you touch, at the level of that karmas. Do not have a very negative idea that what I am talking is karma is very bad. I'm trying to say karma with regard to the liberation. Lay people, they should enjoy your karmas to a certain level. But this means if you are really serious of your practice, then you may have to really consider these things. Otherwise, this is not to say that everybody has to stop all the karmas and stop everything and then leave your houses and go to Himalayas. That will never work for anybody in today's, right? Then somebody might, what about Sarakani, Santati? These people. Karma still has a value. The Buddha accepts karma has a value, but it's a little value. Danger of karma, it has been given in many suttas. See, M22 means Majjhima Nikaya 22, Majjhima Nikaya 54. Okay, these three are very important finally. Nekkhamma and Nekkhamma Sankappa as an antidote to karma. So while we are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, we have a responsibility to practice Nekkhamma, this one. What is Nekkhamma? Renunciation. How does it work? There was a gentleman that I know a long time ago, in Edmonton actually. He said, Bhante, now our children have moved out from our house, so me and my wife only staying here. I recently downsized even my TV channels. I said, why is it? Because Nekkhamma. Really? What were the channels? He said they were not karma channels. He said they were National Geographic. And so he's trying to, practice renunciation very extremely from the physical things. You don't have to. Let the channels be there if you really want to watch. This is a mental activity, right? You are the one who should decide what to watch, for what time I should watch, what should be my moderation. If you're trying to stop everything from physical perspective, things going to be problematic towards you. So renunciation means that you enjoy karmas as a lay person, but you know that there is an antidote. I have to sometimes practice renunciation. I am someone who is eating this every day, but maybe for a couple of days I am not eating that particular thing. Right? Maybe I am doing this karma for some time. I am going to avoid that for some time. Maybe you are somebody who is into sugar that much. I want to be sugarless for a week. Good thing, right? Health-wise also a good thing. And Dhamma-wise also a good thing. Renunciation. Start your renunciation journey from sugar. It's an easy thing, good thing, everybody should like it, right? So, renunciation. According to the Eightfold Noble Path, it says the second Noble Path factor, what is it called? Samma Sankappa. What is Samma Sankappa? There are three intentions or right thoughts. What are they? Nekkhamma Sankappa, Avyapada Sankappa, Avihimsa Sankappa. They are not here. We will study them under our Noble Eightfold Path series. Nekkhamma, Avyapada, Avihimsa. Nekkhamma Sankappa means thoughts or intentions of renunciation. Do we always come up with that kind of thoughts? Or do we always going to like everything that we see? So renunciation thoughts do not easily come to us. We have to create them. Right? Avyapada Sankappa, do we have thoughts all the time to not to destroy other people? That is a challenge. Right? Gossiping, bad mouthing, right? Those things will really damage our thoughts about destroying, not destroying. Then Avihimsa Sankappa means not thoughts on non-harassing other people, physically and mentally. Bullying, it's a big topic nowadays. Bullying, not bullying other people for whatever the thing. So these are the right thoughts that we have to practice. They are not easy. If it is easy, everybody will practice them, right? They don't come with a discount too, right? It will cost. It will cost your time, because in order for you to become a person with all these things, especially renunciation, it will take time, but someday you will come to the point. So the opposite of karma is at least to think about, I want to practice some nekkhamma, just to renounce from some of the karmas that I am very much clung to, attached to. It is a sankappa too. And nekkhamma is also a paramita, right? It is a paramita. How many paramitas are there in Theravada? How many paramitas? 10? 10 names of paramita. How many paramitas are going to be fulfilled by a bodhisattva in Theravada? That is in Mahayana. 6 is in Mahayana. But in Theravada, every bodhisattva in Theravada has to practice 30 paramitas if the bodhisattva wants to become a Samma Sambuddha. Dana parami, dana upaparami, dana paramatta parami. Every paramita has to be fulfilled in 3 ways. Sila parami, sila upaparami, sila paramatta parami. Danang silancha nekkammam panya viriyena panchamam kanti satcham adittanam vitupekka timedasa. Upekka is the last one. So now what are those 3 I want to add? Let's say a bodhisattva is going to practice dana. He has to or she has to practice dana in 3 ways. First one is dana parami. Dana parami means bahira banda parichago dana paramiyona. If a bodhisattva going to offer some food, some external things, even real estates, that is a dana parami. But it is not dana upaparami. Dana upaparami, what is it? Anga parichago, blood donation, organ donation. Not everybody can do that, right? That is dana upaparami. Then paramatta parami means sacrificing the whole life for a noble cause. Some people sacrifice for ignoble causes, right? Taking life for such. So in this way, every bodhisattva practices every parami, 10 names in 3 ways. 10 multiplied by 3, 30. Nekkhamma parami is also the same. So they renounce physically first, and they are renouncing their body parts, including blood donations, and they are renouncing their whole body. Sila also same. So nekkhamma is a paramita. It is not just a normal practice. And renunciation is higher than the letting go practice. You know that people ask you to let go of that problem. Renunciation is the bigger, larger version of letting go. So try to practice nekkhamma. Even when you want to practice jhanas, how can you attain the first jhana? How many of you have learned some jhanas in meditation practices here, satipatthana practices? What do teachers tell you? There are two main meditations, samatha and vipassana. Then, how does someone attain jhanas after a successful completion of the samatha? Viviccheva kamehi, viviccha akusalehi. Patamajjanang upasampajja viharati. That means the person, when he removes the 5 hindrances, then attain the first jhana without sensual desire. Viviccheva kame. Viviccheva, temporary. Samatha is temporary. Alright? So, that means karma is very important. I mean, at least to supersede, withdraw your karma to a certain extent to attain jhanas. Finally, last one. Karma is finally eliminated at the stage of anagami, which I said just a while ago. You will only eliminate it at the level of anagami. Can we take an example, I would say very famous example for karma? Let's take the example of Vishaka. How many of you know the story of Vishaka? Vishaka was a young woman who became a Sotapanna at the age of 7. And then she married a man, right? And she got almost a couple of children. And she got many grandchildren too, right? So Vishaka, it is said Vishaka finally was reborn somewhere, probably in one of the heavens, but she was Sotapanna. So her Sotapanna status did not avoid her in marrying somebody. What does it mean? Somebody may argue, then what about Sakkaya Ditthi? When you are trying to be with somebody, what will happen to your Sakkaya Ditthi? They still go by convention, but in their mind, they are not trying to possess that person to that level. That is why Vishaka, after becoming a Sotapanna at the age of 7, she's marrying somebody in her late teenage time. Right? So we have to really look at the examples, life stories. Do not just read one Dhamma part and this Dhamma part, this Dhamma part, and then try to combine the knowledge. Because we have lots of historical things to learn. Right? So raga, karma is a very complex topic. But according to the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, karma basically means that there are people who practice clinging to sensual happiness by thinking this will take me to Nibbana. So it will not take anybody to Nibbana. Actually, there was another idea. Jains believe you will never attain Nibbana by being happy. They said happiness to happiness is not going to work. Suffering to happiness works. This is a normal idea in our life. Become a tiger mom, you do a lot of hard work and then you will be happy later on. It might be, it might not be. The Buddha said no. It is not by the happiness or unhappiness you will attain Nibbana. It is your inside. It doesn't matter. So the misinstructed people thought maybe happiness to happiness is bad, or unhappiness to unhappiness to happiness is the way, like Atta Kilamatanya, which we will be discussing. So Buddha says it is not just the state of your mind, but how you are going to look at the reality, the truth. All right, any questions about today?
Bhante, just want to ask, if we are too vocal over a dispute opinion, is it a karma?
Yes, ditti. That's what I talk about at the beginning. A lot of people think ditti is ditti. No, ditti comes from lobha, because you attach to your view. You're going to attach to, that is from Abhidhamma actually, not from the suttas. Abhidhamma says lobha, ditti go together. Right? Lobha and ditti, they are in the similar, in one set. Lobha is just lobha, you are greedy, but when you are bringing greed towards your views, things will become a little hectic. Yes, it is. That is why the Buddha said, start your path from where? Sammaditthi. The purification of the view is very important. That is where you're going to start your path. It is not the meditation. It is not speech. It is not action. It is view. The Buddha said, every view carries a problem. Then somebody might ask, then what about Sammaditthi? Sammaditthi is just a blueprint. And you, at a certain time, you even have to get rid of Dhamma too. Dhamma and Adhamma, they all, at a certain, Adhamma is definitely problematic. The Buddha says, Kullupamam vo bhikkhave Dhamman tesisami. Monks, I am teaching you the Dhamma as a raft, just as a draft. What is the use of the raft? There is a man who is going on a long journey. At that time there was no GPS. And then he suddenly finds out a river. Indian rivers are very wide. So now he is going back to the forest. He is going to make a raft. Now he is, with a lot of difficulties, crossing the river. After crossing the river, if he is to think that I didn't have anything to cross the river, this is the only raft that helped me, so I am going to bring that with me. Then Buddha asks, is it necessary? In the same way I say, Kullupamango bhikkhave dhamman desisami nittaranattaya. I only teach you Dhamma to cross the sansaric ocean. No gahanattaya. Not to keep like books all the time. I mean, now don't think that I have to put away all my bookshelf of Dhamma. Right? Right? So Dhamma is there just to learn, not to keep it as a permanent knowledge. Right? Because then we are creating then additional attachment to the Dhamma too. It is just a set of guidelines for us to learn our within, and then to finish our spiritual journey. That means never ever attached to even to Dhamma. What about then other things? Our personal views. Right? So definitely it is carrying different akusala vipakas. So what I can say is, when you are a layperson, you have to work within your workplace. You will have to carry a certain level of your mentality, attitude. That is a different thing. But you have to bring it in a wholesome way, ethical way, non-harming way. Bring wholesomeness to that workspace environment in a proper way. You can't say, folks, from today I'm going to make this workplace a wholesome place. But we have work ethics, you can't do that. But you can gradually mentalize how I'm going to incorporate this Dhamma thing into my work slowly, without provocating other people. Because Dhamma is a personal practice, it's not a group practice, right? We all have to work on us. Right? This is motivation, inspiration. When you sit down with many, inspiration. But the real journey is with us, personally. So, you can still do something for your personal views. It is better that if they could be wholesome. Yeah. What is Kamasukha Yoga? The practice of clinging to sensual happiness. So, everybody knows sensual happiness, but clinging part is a missing part to many. Because that means without clinging you can use your karmas. Of course you have to use your karmas, right? Karma in sometimes means your likes. You have likes, right? You want to take care of yourself, you want to eat well, you want to sleep well. Do we need some dislikes too? For what? Luckily this social media still has no disliking option. They only have those different other emojis. They are afraid to do that because that will be a very strange situation on social media. Why do we need dislikes? Because there are things that we don't want. Let's say a snake coming in here. We don't want the snake coming here. Right? We all try to take care of us. Right? And there's a fight going to happen. We dislike that fight. But the problem is, if you bring likes into a further level, if you bring your dislikes into a further level, that is a problem. What will happen if you bring a like to another level, another higher level? The intensification of likes and dislikes. I made by myself some time ago just to have an idea. See, level 1, likes and dislikes, they should be okay. But when your likes going to be further developed, it will become a lobha. And your dislike will become a dosa. Your anger will start. It is not just something that you don't just dislike. And if you further develop your lobha and dosa, it will become abhijja and vyapada. Very dangerous, that level. Covetousness and vyapada. Where do you find these words? Abhijja, Satipatthana Sutta. Abhijja domanasang. The Buddha says, Kaye kayanupasse viharati, atapi sampajano. Abhijja domanasanga. Abhijja is very dangerous. Then the suffering will come. So what is a good attitude, good mood that you can spend time? Upekka, equanimity. You are not too bothered by likes, not too much bothered by dislikes. But still you have to maintain some form of likes and dislikes. Then you are very good. You are very happy all the time. Right? All right, so karma. So karma is an offshoot from the mismanagement of likes and dislikes also, because it's definitely a mismanagement. All right, so I think with that we're going into the transference of merits. Let's reflect upon all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today in many ways. May all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today in the ways of listening to Dhamma, discussing the Dhamma, learning and everything, be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. If the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us were reborn in a place of dukkha, I would say kama dukkati, may they be able to release from those kama dukkatis and then be able to be reborn in a place of comfort, happiness. If they are already in a place of happiness, may they be able to improve the life standards of those lives and then learn, practice, apply Dhamma and finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me jnati nang hotu sukhita huntu jnatayu. Idam me jnati nang hotu sukhita huntu jnatayu. Idam me jnati nang hotu sukhita huntu jnatayu. May all the devas, nagas and mahitikas, non-human beings, be able to share all these good karmas. May they be happy and peaceful. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika also protect and bless all of you, your family members, even your grandkids, everybody who could come here and others who couldn't come for different reasons. For good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety and all the good things. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ettavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ettavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Akasatta cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tuluka sasanang. Akasatta cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tudesana. Akasatta cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tumang paranti chirang rakkang tutwang sadati. Also, let's make a wish. May we be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas, noble friends, and not with the Papa Mittas. Kalyana Mittas do support us in our journey. Sometimes, even though we know Dhamma, we are not able to practice, continue, deepen the practice because we are not surrounded by noble friends. So, may we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas and not with the Papa Mittas till we attain Nibbana. Thinking thus, we are going to recite this stanza. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. finally, may all the good karmas which we've been accumulating in many ways today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisse niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone. So this is the end of the second day of our Sutta study, and we will be studying the Atta Kilamatanu Yoga next Monday. So we will be looking at Atta Kilamatanu Yoga's context in many ways. So we'll see you then next Monday. Have a very good night. Have a very good week ahead of all of you.